are disappearing. You may be saying to yourself, that's a common occurrence. Unfortunately, that happens every day somewhere on this planet. Either somebody gets taken, somebody gets lost, worst case, somebody gets murdered. Now, I don't know what that has to say about our species, but we'll save that for another video. David Paulides is an ex-police officer, researcher, cryptozoologist, and writer. He's written many books. What we're going to be talking about today is his series of books called Missing 411. Now, in this book series, he speculates about the disappearances of people in U.S. national parks and off-the-grid locations around the world. Now, David claims that an off-duty park ranger actually reached out to him and expressed his concerns about the strange disappearances that were happening in one of these U.S. national parks. And this sparked his interest in this and caused him to start investigating. What he came across were a plethora of cases of people disappearing that were hard to explain. Now, obviously, people get lost in the wild all the time. It's easy to say that we're not as prepared for the wilderness as our animal brothers. Now, something interesting about David's research is that at one point he started noticing that there were cluster areas. There were locations in these parks and in these off-grid places where people were disappearing more often than others. Here's where things get a little fishy. David tried to file a FOIA request to receive a list of the missing people from the park, but government officials were not having it. Now, when he tried to acquire the list from the park rangers, they actually claimed that there was no list. They were not keeping a list of the people disappearing in the park. So after they told David that there was no list, they called him back and they said that he could actually get this list if he paid $34,000, and that was only for one park. Now, if he wanted the list of all the parks, he would have to pay $1.4 million. Obviously, I don't think anybody's willing to hash that kind of money out. We are not just talking about missing persons cases. We're talking about the odd similarities that actually ties all these cases together. Search dogs not picking up a scent, or losing the scent, or following a track to a certain point where the footprints or the track just seems to disappear. Not feeling well, feeling tired. Some of these cases, the people that vanished before they do, their friends and family say that, you know, they were feeling sick, they were feeling uneasy. Being found in a place that has been searched many times before. Now, this happened more than once, where they would have these big search parties looking for the people. They would search one area, they wouldn't find anything, and then they'd come back a few days later, and in that same area, they would find the person that they were looking for. Being found without their clothing, in situations where it would make no sense for them to take their clothes off. For example, in storms or when the weather is too cold, they're found without clothes. And these are people like hikers and hunters, not just children, that are disappearing. Now, this is something that really got me when I was doing research for this. Some of the cases, they find the people's clothing folded neatly miles away from where they find their body. They find their clothes folded neatly on the floor. Not everyone that is lost in these cases stays lost. Some people are found. And the interesting thing is that most of them don't remember what happened. It's almost like they experienced amnesia. Thunderstorms, large storms happening right after these people disappear. Finding people that seem incapable of reaching certain distances very far from where they were lost. For example, I heard a story of this elderly man, or an older man, that was part of a hunting group. So what they did was they were like, you sit here and we're gonna go hunt over there, and we're gonna, you know, send the deer to you. I don't know what animal they were hunting. They're like, we're gonna send the animal to you and you're going to shoot it from here sitting. When they got back, he was gone. And then when they found him, he was way over some ridge. The guy could barely walk. So they don't understand how he got as far as he did. And there's cases of children scaling mountains. I feel like there is some sort of intelligence behind this. Now, David actually never claimed what he believes is taking these people. But he thinks it's important that we look at it and we think about it. And I truly believe the same thing. Let me know down in the comments what you think is happening with these missing 411 cases. While doing research for this video, I came across another YouTuber's channel, and he makes videos about, missing 411 cases. And he has this video where he interviews this woman, and she tells her experience, and it goes hand in hand with some of the traits of a missing 411 case. Now, the thing about this woman is that she survived, she videotaped the whole thing, and she remembers it all. Now, when I watched the video, I'll be sure to share a link, to that as well down in the description. Something came into my head. Now, there's this episode of Astonishing Legends. It's a podcast. I'll be sure to share a link to that as well, where a hiker goes alone into the woods, and he has a very similar experience. Now, in this episode, I'm pretty sure they were not discussing the missing 411 cases. He was just getting, a paranormal story from a random listener. The strange thing is if you listen to that podcast episode and then you watch this lady's story and you watch the video that she filmed, there are many similarities in between the two stories, but I'm sure these two people do not know each other. In both the stories, it seemed like their environment was moving around them. In the woman's story, she doesn't know where she is. She said that there wasn't any water where they were going, and then there was water. And in the hiker's story, when he started running, he said that he felt the same thing. He could hear the river, but he couldn't find the river. Now, of course, this could all just be a string of coincidences, and these people could be, disappearing and missing from natural causes. So let's say that aliens are interdimensional, right? Just for this video, they're interdimensional. If they abduct you from your house while you're sleeping to run tests on you, maybe they're abducting people in the woods to also run tests on them, but in an open environment. Do you understand what I'm saying? Sort of like when you put a mouse in a maze to get the cheese. I don't know. I've been trying to wrap my head around what it could be. I've heard, Bigfoot, aliens, satanic cults, a ring of murderers. It just seems like it could be something paranormal. I've been walking around this park in circles for the last few hours trying to film this vlog. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Make sure to subscribe and share this video. And as always, you are all dope, and we will talk soon.